Giuliani thinks the RNC should play fair with Donald Trump. The nation's biggest health insurer is washing its hands of Obamacare. Pressure is mounting for the government to release the infamous 28 pages. And were Glenn Beck and Mark Levin bribed to bash Trump? My name is Howard Riell, and this is Real Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com and on Facebook and YouTube and Tumblr, and in my book, Real Truth, Stay Angry. And of course, as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM The Line. Our call-in number remains 877-254-7524. My friends, welcome back. The New York primary is going on right now as we speak. Let's listen to the man, Donald Trump, and what he's telling friends in New York. Okay, that's your cue, Donald. Whoa, Donald. My friends, you see why I don't like technology? Technology sucks. And remember, you heard it here first. I am going to queue up this video because I refuse to allow computer technology to make a monkey out of me. Anyway, he's talking he's talking to the faithful in New York. And he's telling them that the election is rigged. And it is. And they know that. And you know that. And I know that. And it's kind of a sad commentary on where we are today as a nation. But let's blow past this and get to the news. Item from Politico. Rudy Giuliani says he thinks Trump can get to the required 1,237 delegates needed to secure the nomination on the first ballot. If the billionaire doesn't get there but is close, the Republican National Committee should change the rules to give it to him, Giuliani said on Tuesday. That's today. If he's within 20 or 30 within the nomination, they have to give it to him, the former New York City mayor and Trump supporter told CNN's New Day. That's not the rule, CNN host Chris Cuomo responded. I know, but they change other rules, so why not change that rule, Giuliani asked. Just because it is a rule doesn't mean it's fair. Stop. My friends, I love it. I love truth and common sense. I've liked Rudy Giuliani for a very long time. And I like Trump. Why? What's the common denominator? Yeah, they're both from New York. What's another common denominator? They both make perfect sense. They speak logic. They speak truth. I love it. I can't get enough of it. For all these talking heads, these pinheads on cable TV like Chris Cuomo, who say, well, but those are the rules. The answer is schmuck. Just because you have a rule doesn't mean you have to follow it, especially if it's egregiously dishonest. Now, maybe as a confirmed liberal, Chris Cuomo doesn't know that because he's used to living with dishonest rules. That's what liberals do. But Rudy Giuliani is having none of it. Doesn't matter what the rules say. What matters is the rules are fair. And if rules can be changed here, they can be changed there. All in the name of fairness and in democracy. I see nothing at all wrong with it. In fact, I see everything right with it.
It's a movement toward the good of the country. It's a movement toward making America great again. That's what it is. So, look, here's the story. Here's the story. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So here's the story. Next Tuesday, you're going to go out and vote. And I'm not a politician. You ever hear these guys? Maybe even some of our senators, but I give them an excuse, okay? But did you ever hear them where they say, it doesn't matter who you vote for. This is a great democracy. Well, we found out in Colorado and in other places, this is not a democracy like we're supposed to have. We're going to make it a better democracy, all right? A better and a fair democracy. And we're not going to have rigged elections in the Republican Party anymore. and we'll let the Democrats take care of themselves. But here's what we do. Here's what we do. We are going to start winning again, folks. And you're going to say, this was one of the great evenings of your life, and it's going to lead you to vote. And by the way, if you are thinking of voting somebody else, I don't think there are too many in this room. Is there anybody in this room that's going to vote for other than Donald Trump? Is there? That's pretty good. I see a couple of protesters. They're not raising their hand. They don't have the courage. But some of our people are pointing to them. All right, look. Should we do the pledge? Should we do the pledge? Right? Raise your hand. Just raise it a little bit. Don't go too high, because they make that into something other than just a little pledge. I promise that I, on Tuesday, will vote for Donald Trump and will make this country great again. Go ahead. All right. Look, you're going to be so proud of your country if I get in. You're going to be so proud of your president, and I don't care about that. But you are going to be so proud of your country, because we're going to turn it around, and we're going to start winning again. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with health care and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much. I love you, Albany. Get out and vote.
Guys, you know, it's a funny thing. When my kids were small, I used to say to them, we're going to go here, we're going to do this. I'm going to say, you're going to be so happy, you're going to put your hands on your head and you're going to scream, no more happiness. And the kids would laugh and I would laugh. When was the last time you really felt proud of America? When was the last time you saw America win? I really believe that of all the candidates running, only Trump, because he's the only one who's not owned by the establishment, only Trump can bring this country back to a place where it wins again and where we can be proud of it again. I'm not very proud of the shenanigans stealing delegates in states that have already been won by Trump. If that's the kind of slimy, sleazy president you want, then vote for Cruz. It's Tuesday. It's Real Truth. I'll be back.
We all know that our government is out of control.
This is the Josh Tolley Show on the GCN Radio.
Solution.com is the place to go to learn how you can actually make that happen. Become their judges, not their slaves. AccountabilityRevolution.com. Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies reminds everyone the chance of involvement in an auto accident rises dramatically with the consumption of alcohol or use of drugs. Please think before you drive. Don't let drugs or alcohol ruin your life or take the lives of others. You are responsible for your own safety as well as the safety of those around you. This message from Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies. For information on their services, call 970-484-7981.
Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirit, whether they are of God, because many false prophets have gone into the world. By this you will know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that does not confess that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, which you have already heard was coming and is now already in the world. 1 John 4:1.
Article 4. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall be issued but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the places to be searched and the persons or things to be seized.
All right, guys, welcome back. Howard Riell. The show is called Real Truth. You know, we're living in unprecedented times and weird things are happening. Now, when I heard Glenn Beck and Mark Levin, two people for whom I've had a lot of respect, not only come out against Donald Trump, but vehemently, ferociously against Donald Trump, I've been wondering what the heck is going on. What could account for that? Well, maybe this is the answer. Here's Roger Stone. He's on a radio show with someone named Josh Tolley. He says that Beck and Levin have been bribed to target Trump. Now, I'm going to play the video. I have no idea if this is true or not, but it kind of sort of makes sense. So let's listen.
Transmission begins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is the Josh Tolley Show on the GCN Radio Network.
Alright, we were talking to Roger Stone last segment before we got in the show, and Roger, there's a couple things I want to make sure we get to. One is the RNC strategy here anyway. This isn't something new. I've been involved with the RNC on a grassroots level for a while now, especially in Wisconsin. It's a very odd situation there. But, I mean, they did this to Ron Paul. If you remember back to the last presidential election, they didn't even seat the delegates from Maine. They took a floor vote, and the teleprompter won because they already had the ayes had it, even though the nays definitely outvoted the ayes. So then they changed the rules. I mean, this is what I love about the Trump campaign is not necessarily his campaign itself, but the fact that it's shining the light on how perverted, corrupt, and horrific the party system is.
Yeah, and the lobbyist class, at the end of the day, very sadly, they would rather have a President Hillary Clinton than a President Donald Trump as a Republican. Yeah. Because they realize Hillary is transactional. She's not really a liberal or a progressive. She's just for sale. It's all about the money. And therefore, if you're a party leader who doubles as a lobbyist, like most of them do, quite sadly, then you have access to corporate cash for campaign contributions, well then Hillary is accessible to you. So that is why they are, I think, so bent on destroying Trump. And yes, they will try to hijack this in the Rules Committee or the Credentials Committee. I wrote a long piece at stonezone.com, which you can see, warning about Trojan horse delegates. Let me give you the best possible example. The state of Texas, 100 delegates. Based on the primary results and primary rules, Donald Trump is entitled to 40 votes of those 100 votes, Ted Cruz to 60. The problem is that the 40 people who will actually fill the seats of the Trump delegates are anti-Trump. So they will vote against him on Rules and Credentials Committee. So theoretically, if the Credentials Committee moved to unseat Trump delegates, or the Rules Committee moved to declare delegates who are elected with non-Republican votes in the primaries, meaning Democrats, like South Carolina, whose state party rules allow that, and it went to a ratification to the full convention as required by the rules, Trump does, even if he has a majority on the first ballot, he will not have a majority on the question of rules. And the rules have to be adopted, and the credentials have to be adopted before the first ballot for president. Therein lies the potential trap for Donald Trump that the kingmakers are setting for him.
See, and that's crazy. You brought up something that the Republicans would be happier voting for Hillary Clinton. And on the show on Showtime called The Circus, which I believe you were actually on, they did a roundtable of Republican operatives, kingmakers. And you are absolutely right. They were saying, you know what, for the first time I'm thinking about voting for a Democrat. So see, folks, these people who are at the top, they're just playing a game with your life. And this is why you really have to listen to Roger. But Roger, the question remains, what's the point? I mean, okay, so you're talking to the delegates, you're finding out what hotels they're at, you're going to have the Day of Rage, maybe it's a mini, march down the street or whatever. But the party's still the party. How do you get Trump in the White House?
Well, he's still more than capable of winning 1,237 votes. Also, never underestimate the ambition of a politician. If Trump is 100 votes short, I can think of several places that Trump could go in the party to get 100 votes. Because somebody wants to be vice president, or somebody wants to have a major voice in the administration. So Trump is in the driver's seat as long as he is closest to the nomination, and Ted Cruz is several hundred votes behind him. There is no accommodation that Ted Cruz will be able to make that would get him nominated on the first or second and perhaps even the third ballot. So Trump goes into if he goes into the convention in a commanding position, but without a majority, and this is the key, if he has an adept and extremely well-oiled convention operation where he has tight communications with his supporters and a good analysis of the opportunities and strategic options, he could still very well emerge as the nominee. If he does not have those things, if he demonstrates the kind of lack of organization that he had in Wisconsin, then yes, the Republican Party burgers will steal him blind.
What about the line that Cruz keeps delivering that Trump can't beat Hillary?
On the contrary, the guy who can't beat Hillary is Ted Cruz. Name any state where he would be competitive. The candidacy of Ted Cruz is far too extreme, including his kind of strange evangelical Christian pastor father, who's a very shady character. That whole narrative is not going to work. Ted Cruz is viewed as an extremist, and I can't think of any Midwestern or Northeastern industrial state where he would be competitive. Ted Cruz cannot and will not win Ohio. Ted Cruz cannot and will not win Florida. Those are must-carry states for us. Ted Cruz's appeal is extremely limited. Look at the states he's won so far. There's not one big industrial state that this guy's done well. He's not going to do well in Pennsylvania. He's not going to do well in New York. In fact, I predict to you, John Kasich will run ahead of him in New York. Ted Cruz will be third. And then there's his personality. This guy wants to be Reagan, but he's really Nixon. Look how shifty those eyes are. Look how untrustworthy he looks on television.
Very true.
I just think that the whole package there is unelectable.
Then why are there so many quote-unquote conservative pundits? Now, I don't believe they're conservative. I think they're a little neoconish. But people like Glenn Beck, for example, saying, well, if you're not voting for Ted Cruz, you're not reading your Bible. Why have these people left conservatism?
Payoffs. That's why. And I have a piece that will be published shortly. Mark Levin taking a payoff. Eric Erickson taking a payoff. Glenn Beck taking a payoff. You can call it bribery if you want. That's why. I just answered your question.
Wow.
So what is all very documentable, as you will see.
I'm waiting to see it, and you have an open invitation to come back on this show once you publish that piece. But
it'll be at stonezone.com, I think later today. I've got to edit it, but I've done very substantial research. I mean, Mark Levin, this guy attacks me on the radio. He attacks me for being a Nixon Republican. Hey, Mark, Richard Nixon saved your beloved Israel single-handedly in the 1973 Yom Kippur War. Without Nixon, over the objection of Kissinger, over the objection of his own State Department, airlifting $100 million plus worth of lethal aid to Israel, Israel would be extinct today. But worse than that, Mark, don't attack me on the radio but then refuse to engage. I'll debate Mark Levin any place, any time, and it will be an ass kick. So Mark, bring it on.
So what's the payoff? Real quickly, what are they getting for abandoning conservative values?
Cash money. Whew. The green stuff, greenbacks, cadolas, bread, cabbage.
Wow.
They're all for sale. Look, I like Glenn Beck. He's been very good to me in terms of covering my books. He's been very gracious to me. Why he has become such a drooler, why he has become so virulently opposed to Donald Trump, the answer, I think, is in cash money.
Well, I've always wondered, because Ted Cruz is not a conservative. Any way you skin it, he's just not. And he is very shifty. You can just look at him and say, ooh, this guy's dangerous. But it is what it is. Roger, thank you so much for joining us. I got to tell you, we're going to have you back on, because this thing is not over, not in a long shot. And I want to cover next time you're on why you're getting kicked off MSNBC.
Yeah, no, I've now been banned in some kind of Soviet-style ban. So there's three possibilities. One, they are banning me because I'm politically incorrect. 2, they're banning me because I'm for Donald Trump. Or 3, they're banning me because I'm so much better dressed than any of their anchors. I'm not sure which one it is.
Well, that's a controversy with which we will have to grapple, but is it possible, and again, I don't know, is it possible that Glenn Beck and Mark Levin have received cash and other hosts, Eric Erickson, in order to bash Trump? I don't know. We'll wait and see what kind of documentation Roger Stone provides, if any. Item from the Associated Press. United Health, the nation's biggest health insurer, will cut its participation in public health insurance exchanges to only a handful of states next year after expanding to nearly 36 for this year. CEO Stephen Helmsley said on Tuesday, that's today, that the company expects losses from exchange business to total more than $1 billion for this year and last. He added the company cannot continue to broadly serve the market created by the Affordable Care Act's coverage expansion, due partly to the higher risk that comes with its customers. Unquote. So the news takeaway is this: when you give away things for free or close to free, it's an expensive proposition. That must come as news to all the liberal and Democrat voters in the country. They figure, just like Bernie Sanders wants to give away free college, I mean, hey, it's free. What could possibly go wrong? Item from RealClearPolitics.com. NBC's Hallie Jackson reports Cruz has changed his focus to Pennsylvania and making a play for the state's unbound delegates. Jackson, the network's Cruz correspondent, said even if Cruz has a third-place finish in Pennsylvania's Republican primary, he'll win more than half the delegates. It's very telling that Ted Cruz tonight is not in Brooklyn or Manhattan or any of the boroughs or state. He's in Pennsylvania, reported Jackson. He'll be in Philly for his watch party tonight, Jackson said. That's indicative of where he and his campaign see the race going. To Pennsylvania, where they are looking to make a play for these unbound delegates. Even if they come in a distant third, a top campaign aide tells me, they will still, they believe, pick up more than half the delegates there. Unquote. My friends, is that the kind of president you want? Some guy who waits until the parade goes by and then runs behind it and begins picking people's pockets? This is the slimy, disgusting, sleazy, lawyer-controlled political hack stuff that we all know exists, that we've known has always existed, that makes us sick and that is ruining this country. And Ted Cruz, whose wife is in the Council on Foreign Relations, whose wife is a managing director of Goldman Sachs, Cruz and Heidi Cruz, who both came up through the Bush crime family, they're going around picking pockets, hoping that that's going to put them in the White House. It's not. Item from InfoWars. Among the numerous views held by those espousing 9/11 truth, one central idea remains the same. The United States government is complicit in the September 11, 2001 terror attacks. An article in the New York Post this week, boldly titled, How U.S. Covered Up Saudi Role in 9/11, details how the highest levels of the U.S. government not only helped conceal Saudi involvement, but assisted the perpetrators in escaping the country. The kingdom's involvement was deliberately covered up at the highest level of our government, and the cover-up goes beyond locking up 28 pages of the Saudi report in a vault in the U.S. Capitol basement, said Paul Sperry. Investigations were throttled. Co-conspirators were let off the hook. Stop, my friends. Let's take this a step further, because what I do here in Real Truth is I give you the truth, and then I take it one step beyond. So let's say these 28 pages are made public and they show that the Saudis were complicit in 9/11. Well, who has been best friends, best buddies, both in politics and in business with the Saudis for decades, going back to the 80s? Who's been kissing cousins with the Saudis? None other than the Bush family. None other than the two presidents, Bush, other Bushes, the Bush crime family, out of which, yes, you heard me say it just a moment ago, Ted and Heidi Cruz both came up through the ranks. It all ties together. And we'll be back.
We all know that our government is out of control. What are the points of people in it? How can we, the people, bring it back to the people's servants, not the people's masters. Liberty Forum and the Freedom Rider says officials in government must be made accountable for their actions. AccountabilityRevolution.com is the place to go to learn how you can actually make that happen. Become their judges, not their slaves. AccountabilityRevolution.com. Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies reminds everyone the chance of involvement in an auto accident rises dramatically with the consumption of alcohol or use of drugs. Please think before you drive. Don't let drugs or alcohol ruin your life or take the lives of others. You are responsible for your own safety as well as the safety of those around you. This message from Rehabilitation and Nursing Center of the Rockies. For information on their services, call 970-484-7981.
Great Plains Power has been providing reliable electrical power systems in the Rocky Mountain area since 1992. Our systems rely on the sun to help make you self-reliant for your power needs. Solar energy can be scaled to fit any situation, from complete power independence to backup power for the short term. Our expertise focuses on standalone power, but we have extensive experience with utility interactive systems as well.
Let's go to Ann Coulter now, who is in. Know that America will be there to stand as our friend, no matter who our president is. Well,
Specialized experience at your disposal. Let us know what your power concerns or goals are. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. That's 303-239-9963. Or go to GreatPlainsSolar.com.
No state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque or reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. Article 1, Section 10.
And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness of him and cried out, saying, This was he of whom I said, He who comes after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 14 and 15.
Guys, we're back. Howard Riell. The show is called Real Truth. Let's get right to it. Ann Coulter on video. By the way, you'll find us on my Facebook page, Real Truth Radio. Ann Coulter being interviewed about, you guessed it, Donald Trump. Here we go.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Adam Kinzinger. Let's go to Ann Coulter now, who is in New York. How has he done this? Who's he reaching?
He's reaching about 10 million Americans, blacks, Hispanics, evangelicals. Massachusetts, one of the most liberal states in the Union. He is sweeping the nation. You're going to get a false impression of what's happening over here. I just realized, listening to your last guest, because it is about 10 million people against 500 people. But that 500 are all of our elected Republicans and, GOP or Republican strategists, consultants, lobbyists. They're the ones who are going crazy. What Trump has done in the reason he's done this is the two parties, both of them, have been forcing their candidates to take suicidal positions. You can't choose a la carte and take the popular position on every issue. If you want to go with the Republicans because you want lower taxes, well then you have to, commit yourself to a lot of wars in the Middle East. If you want the Democrats because they'll take care of the poorest people, then you have to commit yourself to losing wars in the Middle East or, abortion on demand. Trump comes along and mostly on immigration. It mostly has to do with building the wall and American sovereignty and taking care of the people who already live here. But beyond that,
so he appeals to
just issue by issue, he's taking the most popular position.
I mean, just to put it bluntly, he appeals to a theme of racism in America, doesn't he? People who don't like Mexicans, people who don't like Muslims, You know, that's all pretty straightforward looking at it from the outside.
No, he doesn't. He won a majority of the Hispanic vote. He's winning huge numbers of the black vote for Republicans. I mean,
the numbers on that are a bit dodgy.
For the Democrats. And he's winning huge numbers of Muslims. But I'm sorry, can we ever talk about the white American vote or the white and black American vote? That is the traditional America. For 200 years, it hasn't been a multiracial society. America's been a biracial society. The recent immigrants, yeah, they're voting overwhelmingly for the Democrats, but luckily, as I suspected, they came to America. They want to live in the America that they immigrated to. They don't want to turn America into Mexico. And the way things are going, that is what it's going to be.
Do you have enough?
Part of the reason.
Do you have enough sort of angry white people to take him to the White
House?
They're
not angry.
You know, he can get the nomination, but he's then got to take on Hillary Clinton.
He's going to crush Hillary Clinton. Mark my words. We've been hearing for 7 months how Trump it's a summer fling. He's not going to win a single primary, over and over again from the other people I am sure you're interviewing. Oh, he's going no place. He'll never be the nominee. He is doing far better than Mitt Romney did in 2012. He's doing 1,000,000 times better than John McCain did in 2008. He's doing comparable to what Obama was doing, except I think even better than that when he ran against Hillary Clinton. These are stunning numbers he's getting, and the demographics he's getting are stunning. He is winning across the board. It is not just, angry white men. This is just a way to insult the American people. Look, my friends are...
Okay, sorry to interrupt, but do you really know exactly what he stands for and everything? So, take abortion.
Yes.
He says he is anti-abortion, but he says Planned Parenthood has done great things for millions of women. Do you agree with him on that?
Yes. Yes.
That they were right to help all those women.
This is what I mean about not being constrained by donors and lobbyists and consultants. He can say something that is perfectly common sense like that. Look, I'm pro-life.
That's not common sense. That's contradictory.
No, it isn't. He said that Planned Parenthood has done wonderful things for millions of women. He's talked to women. They do cervical cancer screening. They do breast cancer screening. They help with birth control, but he is against abortion, and as long as they keep performing abortions, he will not allow them, or at least will veto their being federally funded.
Fine,
it makes perfect sense.
Take the Middle East then.
All right, stop, Ann. He's saying stop. I made a point and you showed me I was wrong, so I'm just going to admit, and I'm not going to admit that I was wrong. I'm just going to go past it and hope that nobody noticed it. This is a teachable moment, my friends. This guy, I don't know who he is. And believe me, it doesn't matter. He's a typical liberal media hitman, if I can use that term. His job is to make his guest, Ann Coulter, and the guy she's talking about, Donald Trump, look bad. So he throws out a proposition which is brainless. That Trump has contradicted himself on Planned Parenthood. Ann Coulter shows him very simply that he has not. He says Planned Parenthood does a lot of good things for women, and it does, but he objects to the abortion part. There's no contradiction. And so rather than saying, oh, now I understand, thank you, Ann Coulter, for clarifying that, he's saying, yeah, but what about the Middle East? He's going to try and pin something else on Donald Trump. That's how the media is, because the media is liberal, and liberals lie. Why do they lie? Well, they have no choice. If they were to simply come out honestly and straightforwardly, like I do, for example, and tell you what they think and what they want to do, well, they'd be laughed out of the room. That's why someone like Bill Clinton, and now Hillary Clinton, and before Barack Obama, all these liberal candidates, they'll come out and they will say things that paint them as a centrist, because that's what America wants to hear. And once they get elected, gone from the center, now they're way over on the left. Why didn't they tell you what they wanted to do in the first place? Because if they had, you wouldn't have voted for them. That's what this putz on TV in Europe is doing. He's making a case, and when we see that the case isn't right, he's going and make a different false case, but he's never going to resort to the truth, because by the truth, he loses. And for liberals, it's never about the truth. It's about winning. That's why you will always see slander and mudslinging coming from the left side. That's why you'll always see the politics of scorched earth coming from the left. They slander, they insult. That's what the left does because they can't rely on logic, common sense, and intelligence. Those things are not on their side. So this guy, undoubtedly highly paid, is a stooge and a fool and a liar. He's trying to control what his viewers think rather than simply providing them with facts and letting them think whatever they want to think. But Ann Coulter is sharp enough. She's having none of it. She put him right in his place. He had to back off, and now he's going to try a different lie. You know, I don't have time. We're going to be hitting a commercial soon. But you can watch this video for yourself. It's on my Facebook page, Real Truth Radio. It's what the liberal media does. They spin a narrative that serves their purpose, and then they lie, and when they're finished doing that, they start lying. It's all they have. It's why Hillary Clinton is the Democratic frontrunner, because she lies more and better than anybody else. She is la creme de la liar, if I can say that, and I guess I can. And that's why I'm baffled when I see otherwise intelligent Americans supporting a Hillary Clinton, or Bernie Sanders, or Barack Obama, or Bill Clinton. I want to say, what the hell is wrong with you? Don't you care about lies and about the truth? Apparently not. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more real truth. My guys, all done. All done. Please share this video, and see you tomorrow.